Welcome to Inner Life, the space where we peel back the layers of success to reveal the soul beneath it all. I'm Anya, and today we are diving into what it truly means to lead from a place of wholeness, not just achievement. Our guest, Dr. Dorothy Martin Neville, has lived one of the most extraordinary arcs you'll ever hear. From an orphanage in South Boston to shaping leaders, visionaries, and royalty on the world stage, a psychotherapist, speaker, and founder of multiple companies. Dr. Dorothy is known for her work in emotional intelligence and neuroplasticity, helping high achievers move from striving to soulful mastery. Today, we'll explore the quiet power behind resilience, the courage it takes to evolve, and how freedom begins when we dare to listen to our own inner light. So settle in, take a slow breath, and let's meet the leader within. Welcome to the show, Dr. Dorothy. It's such an honor to have you.
Thank you so much. It's great to be here.
Mhm. So, your journey from an orphanage to the global stage is remarkable.
Yep.
When you look back, what inner qualities guided you the most through that transformation? Grit, faith, curiosity, or something deeper?
I would say that what guided me was certainly my faith that anything is possible and that we've never walked a moment alone, that God, however you reference that, God, the Holy Spirit, whatever, has always been with us. And we are walking a journey. And I truly believe we're meant to live this, not survive it, which means we're really meant to jump into living our lives, not passively going through it.
Yes, 100%. And was there ever a point where that same strength became a limitation? Where survival mode clashed with inner peace?
There are times, I would say, when inner peace slept during some of the greatest difficulties. I had a period in time where I was getting divorced, and I never thought I would be divorced, and wondered if I was going to make it through, wonder if I would ever be okay, if my babies would be okay. And it really threw me. This was many, many years ago, but it threw me. I was in my 30s. Um, and when something that's so out of what you expected, so out of what you imagined your life to unfold, when it happens, you don't know where to put it. But I came out of that, and I came out of that flying in ways I never ever could have succeeded if I had stayed in that marriage. So it ended up being a gift beyond words, which also taught me that sometimes our greatest struggles become our greatest gifts.
Mm-hmm. Yes, 100%. And that's such a powerful reflection. Like, it's like the very armor that once protected us can later block the light trying to reach us.
Right. It is quite a journey we walk, isn't it?
Yeah. And you have coached leaders at the top of their game. So, what do most successful people misunderstand about true leadership?
Most people, from my perspective, see leadership as a job. They see it as the position they hold, whether it is a CEO, the COO, the CFO. They think their leadership is from the position they hold, when in fact, leadership is a spiritual contract. It's a reflection of who we are and what our purpose is this time on the journey. It has nothing to do with the position we hold. You can be the janitor at a building and walk in leadership, walk in authority, so it has nothing to do with the position. How are you walking through life? Are you walking through life with an awareness of, I am, my existence is here? Or are you attached to a particular job title? Because the fear is if they lose that title, they will lose their leadership, when they won't. Their leadership is who they are, it's not what they do in a particular industry.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely. And when you work with someone used to control and certainty, how do you help them embrace that vulnerability deeper leadership requires?
Well, what I find in talking to people, what I hear are the belief systems that carry them through life. And many people's belief systems are based around limitation and struggle. that I need to overcome this, I need to overcome that, I need to work through this, rather than looking at what is intrinsically my power base, what intrinsically is the way in which I can lead, intrinsically for me, my personal expression of who I am and what I bring to the table, because it's our compilation of our life experiences, our education, and who we are that make us so powerful, that make us the leaders we're meant to be. And again, when we don't recognize that and we think leadership is way out there somewhere, we forget to look within. And that becomes, I think, the greatest weakness is the forgetting to look within.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I love that. That leadership isn't about directing more, but surrendering better. It's almost sound like an act of grace as much as discipline.
It is a discipline, but the discipline is what is my vision? Every one of us, from the time we are 10, 20 years old, whatever it is, we're all different, has a vision of who we want to be and what we want to do on this world, right? And I want to be a leader of a major company, or I want to have an impact on hunger. I want to have an impact on whatever it may be. And when that's our vision and that's our spiritual purpose, and we stay in alignment with that, we keep growing in our ability to achieve that. What ends up happening is that when we forget what that is and we get so busy focusing on achieving, we end up becoming successful. But when we get there and these people, they're making 20 million, $30 million a year, but they realize something is missing, and what's missing is them. They got left way back there when they were so busy focusing on what success looks like. It's that next position, it's working in that other company, it's getting a higher degree and more money and a higher job grade in that company. And they keep focusing outside again, and they lose sight that I had something I wanted to do in the world at one point in time, and I forgot what that is. And so my work with them is to take them back to remember who they really are, to take them back to remember what it is they wanted to accomplish when they were 20 or 25. And it usually is, yeah, making loads of money, but there's usually something else besides making loads of money. There's some impact they wanted to have. And if I can remind them of that, it can transform their lives.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's amazing. And you often blend neuroplasticity and emotional intelligence in your.
Correct.
Mhm. How do those concepts help someone reconnect with their authentic self?
Well, with neuroplasticity, it takes you back to, and it's all dependent on emotional health. Neuroplasticity truly depends on your emotional health. Because if I can begin to recognize the stories I tell myself, I become freer emotionally. Because if what I tell myself is somebody like me from an orphanage or from the housing projects is not capable of being a real leader, then my emotional intelligence is connected to my wound and not my strengths. So if I begin to see where every time that story comes in and I believe the story I've created, I begin to see that my emotions become discouraged or they hold me back. They hold me in a stuck place. But if I can see that it's my emotions are doing that, not facts, not reality, I can then use neuroplasticity to change my belief systems. Wait a minute. I have succeeded far beyond I ever imagined. Therefore, if I've succeeded this much now, what can I do in the next 10 to 20 years? And so, therefore, now whenever somebody offers me to do something and it's a challenge, instead of fighting with, can I do this? Can I do this? I just say, okay, let me change. Of course I can do this. So in neuroplasticity, I create a different pathway. I create a different belief. So the moment somebody says, can you do this? And I go into fear, I can take a deep breath, create a different thought pattern, and I can then say, of course I can. And then I just walk down a different path, and you end up doing this frequently enough, you literally create different neural pathways. So that certain words, certain implications create a different response. It's a psychospiritual response. It's in the brain, so it creates a different response. And now the neuroplasticity with neuromechanics has helped me shift and change and create new neural pathways. And it really becomes. I become more emotionally intelligent because I begin to recognize the moment I feel overwhelmed or the moment I feel discouraged, the moment I feel like this is way bigger than me, I can't. The moment I feel that, I know emotionally, well, this is a story. This isn't a truth. So I know my emotions well enough to know that when those particular emotions show up, it's because of a story. It's not because of a truth. And I can grow my emotional intelligence, which helps me again reinforce the neuroplasticity that I just developed. Right? And a whole new neural pathway is in force. And eventually, that neural pathway just becomes where I go automatically. Somebody says, "Can you do something?" I say, "You bet I can." And I just sit up a little taller and know that I can do this. I just have to figure out how, but I can do it. Right?
Yeah, that's such an empowering lens. Like our minds as living clay, always ready to be reshaped by awareness. It gives so much hope.
Yeah, it really does because anything that limits you is from your mind. We've all been told we can't, especially women, what we've been told we can't. And if we believe we can't, we don't even try. And I don't believe in fighting the opposition. I walk around it. You know, if I see somebody that says to me, you're not going to be able to do that because of you're a woman or because of your age or because of your lack of experience or whatever it is they want to tell me, instead of trying to prove to them how good I am, I just say, okay, that's your thoughts. That's your belief. And I walk around them and I keep on going and I achieve it and I make it happen. You know, I don't waste energy fighting somebody who doesn't believe in me. I just walk around them and keep on going. Life is too short to waste our time trying to prove something that somebody doesn't want to see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I absolutely agree. And many people reach external success but feel an inner emptiness.
Right.
So, how do you help someone move from performing life to inhabiting it fully?
When I meet somebody, and that's frequently the people I work with, they're highly successful, but they feel empty inside. What I remind them of is what's missing inside is them. So I ask them to tell me about themselves, not their job, to tell me about themselves. Who are they? What are their dreams? What are their wants? And so often they'll say to me, I haven't thought about that in years. I haven't thought about what I want in years. I've been doing what I was supposed to do. I haven't thought about what I need. I'm too busy filling everybody else's needs, all the demands in my job, all the demands at home, all the demands in my clubs, and all of these things. And so I get them to stop and remember they exist because that emptiness happens when we forget we exist. You know, the way I describe it is you're sitting in this chair right here, you in your chair, and over on the far side of the room is the life we created. It's all the friends we've had, the homes we've lived in, the jobs we've had, the schools we've been to. All of that is on the far side of the room. That's the life we created. But over here on this chair is the essence of who we are. It's this embodied being, this embodied soul, whatever you want to, who's walked many journeys. You know, we're sitting here on this chair. This is simply the life I've created this time, right? Who knows what I created last time, but this is the life I've created this time. And when I know that, I realize I am so much more than that life. I am so powerful, I created that life. And I'm so powerful enough, I can change that life at any point in time. So if I can go back over here and remember I exist apart from everything I do, from all the relationships I'm in, all of a sudden we start to feel filled. We start to feel aware of there's someone here who's more than that job, who's more than that partner, that spouse, who's more than that parent. There's somebody here who's more than all of those things. And when they start to realize that, you can see them getting excited again. It's like a Christmas present. They get excited. They're filled with joy because they're remembering what they forgot somewhere along the way, that they exist apart from that life they've created.
Mm-hmm. Yes, definitely. And what's one question you invite them to ask themselves when they can't feel joy in what they've built?
Who is it they want to become in the future? And how is it they want to live their spiritual purpose as they go forward? So it's two very different questions. Who do they want to become? And how do they want to live their spiritual purpose going forward? So they'll say, I've never thought about it. I've never thought about who I wanted to become. I just do what I need to do. And it's important that we do some of the things we need to do, but it's also important to remember who we become is even more important than what we do. Do I want to become the wise person? Do I want to become the loving person who nurtures everybody? Do I want to become the sage in my community? Who do I want to be going forward? And it's important to know that because then we give ourselves permission to become that.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's profound. Like joy as the compass of alignment. Sometimes success without soul feels like winning the wrong race.
And it's horrible because you have success, but without your soul, without the essence of who you are, and it's so empty. It is so empty, and you need other people to affirm you because you don't have that ability to affirm yourself. You need other people to tell you you succeeded because you don't have that ability to look back and see, who was I? Who am I? And look at what I have achieved. And not just an ego, but in the sense of, oh my God, look at what I have been so blessed to create. Look at what I have done after facing all the stories I told myself about my limitations, all the stories I told myself about what's impossible. Look at what I have created with all of the obstacles and the blessings I've had on my life. Look at the story I have evolved. And then when you can own that, your success feels so much greater because you can see you're a part of it and your evolution has been a part of it.
Mm-hmm. Yes, totally. And at this stage of your life and work, what does legacy mean to you?
I would like to leave a legacy knowing when I leave this world, I would like to know that I have impacted thousands and thousands of lives and allowed others to remember who they are. Allow others to remember that they have a spiritual purpose in making this world a better place. And if I can help transform those people, knowing they are going to impact hundreds or thousands of other people, then the legacy I've left is to bring more of an awareness that this is a spiritual journey and we are all called to live who we are meant to be completely. And giving that out there, if we live truly who we are meant to be, our success will be enormous. We don't succeed when we don't believe in who we are, when we believe the stories others tell us to define us. When we believe those stories are as limited as the people telling the story. And if we believe that, we limit ourselves to who they think they are and to who they think we are. But if we learn to listen to ourselves, we realize there's no limit. There is no limit unless I create it. Yeah.
Mhm. And that's beautiful. Legacy as a lived vibration, not a distant goal. And
Yeah.
reminds me that our presence is the message.
Yeah. Everything in life is energy, right? Everything is energy. And how I use my energy defines my impact. It defines my influence It defines how people hear my message because you can say something with one tone and people hear it one way. You can say it another way and people hear it differently. So it is me that defines my message and me that defines how it is heard.
Yes.
And, it's really funny because not everybody hears what you say. They hear what they expect to hear. And if I can keep rephrasing it, maybe they will hear it the third time I say it or the fourth time I say it. Maybe they will hear it because I've said it in a slightly different way. But my hope is that in my legacy, I've been able to say it in so many different ways that many, many people could hear that and then rise to become that you become whatever it is your dreams are. And your dreams today are not the same dreams you're going to have in 20 years or the same dreams you're going to have in 30 years. Because as you grow and you change and you learn and you create more wisdom as well as knowledge, you're going to have a dream you never imagined possible at this point in your life. And then in 30 years, you're gonna have a dream that's you didn't realize is possible in 50 years in your life. And then you just keep going. Our dreams keep expanding. As we expand, we're capable of having greater vision and greater dreams, you know? So it's a wonderful adventure we're walking.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
It's always unfolding.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Dr. Dorothy, your story is such a living testament to transformation,
Right.
to the truth that freedom isn't found in what we conquer, but in what we release. And to everyone listening, ask yourself tonight, what part of me is ready to lead away from love instead of fear? What truth have I outgrown but still cling to? Because that's where your next evolution begins. In the quiet courage to honor your own light. This is Inner Light, and I'm Anya. Thank you for joining us. Until next time, keep shining gently and lead with your heart open wide.